Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about the treasure spawn that just came out, so get your pirate hats and let's prepare for the show. Alright, let's talk about the monster or the main treat of the whole deal of this whole spawn in general. Alrighty, so if I look at his abilities, he has resurrection right here. If you miss it, it's literally like smudged in the middle, like getting crushed by everything else. Like go. I want the attention now, not you, resurrection. You always get the attention. All the other abilities are trying to get the attention. Anyways, this monster right here is between the third and first best resurrection monster in the game right now. Now overall, this monster is better than Lariel. The only thing Lariel's got on this monster is the fact that she increases stats instead of decreases stats, because usually you'd want an increase instead of a decrease for the enemy, because the decrease is only going to last till you kill the enemy, and we all know that there's multiple waves, so it's not going to be as helpful. And for guild battles, when it comes to guild battles, when you're going to be decreasing stats, you're going to be decreasing stats to the enemy. Instead, you would want to do it more towards the crystal than the enemy, but you can't. So increase is better, because increase, you take it with you no matter what. The only time the increase goes away is somebody uses karma, or somebody debuffs, or the time runs out. It stays with you otherwise. That's why I'd say, depending on the situation, Lariel can be better, but that's not going to be, like, for the most part, ever. I mean, for guild battles, maybe, but that's literally it. Overall, player versus enemy, this monster is tied with Aquarius because of what he does. He removes resurrection, wards, other damage nullifying effects, damage reduction, continuous healing, and damage reduction effects from all enemies. Attacks 10 times randomly, and ability power of 160, which is really good for bosses because it knocks them down a lot. And he casts Frenzy, which nullifies status alignments and debuffs on your character. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because Aquarius still has Awakening, and she casts it on all allies. So damage you receive is going to be reduced by half. Critical chance is going to be increased by 20 or 30%. I forgot. All stats are going to be increased by 50, and ability power is going to be increased for magic and physical by 30. So that's what Aquarius would give with her Awakening, and on top of it, she heals your HP back even though she does damage, and she doesn't do too bad damage because she hits all enemies. Definitely Aquarius would be better for guild battles than this monster, except this monster would give more score and would help a lot because this is anti-Nicarius, which is kind of funny. How they add like an anti to the anti of Kairat, Kairat being like the best monster, and then like they add an anti to Kairat, and then they add an anti to that anti to Kairat. Ironic, honestly. Right now, the reason I'm saying this is it says during an element battle including the skill, one element weakening effect is increased by 10%. So if you were in a Unison battle, what I believe it's trying to say, and the most thing that would make sense, because I don't see how this would affect anything else, when you pop 2 wind monsters, it doesn't even matter if it's Kairat. Kairat is a wind monster, but it doesn't matter if it's Kairat or not. You pop him, whenever they pop, let's say, water, the weakening effect or the downing of the score gets increased by 10%. So their score gets decreased by 10% more than it usually would, thanks to this ability right here. So it's pretty much helping Kairat stay on the field and pretty much wiping before Nicarius, or I can't say her name, Nicarius or whatever, attacks, because the only way she can really activate is she attacks. If she can't attack, then there's no point. And considering the update just came out as well, that makes you only be able to use her once, I'm assuming if you already used her in a Unison battle and you lost, it counts as using her once. Her value went down, and on top of it, they actually have another anti-version of her too. This monster right here, sure, not a lot of people are going to be getting it in the first place, but this monster right here is water. She's fire. The anti-beta to Kairat is fire. She's water. If you pop her, it's pretty much countering her as well, because again, if you can't activate her, she's pretty much useless for that whole scenario. So her value just went down by a lot. I mean, there's probably people who are not going to be using either monster, because again, they're not really as helpful, but there will be people using her, because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people use Kairat. So there's that. moving on from the monster though, the armor itself is pretty dang good. But this armor is mainly meant for, as you can see, increases fire element attack, chance to massively reduce physical and magical damage taken, damage reduction effects scales with fire element defense for your gear, all that stuff right here. This armor and all this stuff is mainly meant for wind events. For example, the one that just came out that I will talk about as soon as I can. This one right here is a good example, literally actually built for it in the first place. All this stuff is built for it. The monster is built for it, the gear is built for it, everything. And they have abilities that increase fire element attack, and they do, I'm not gonna lie, really good damage for an ability that can be replaced by your regular attack, because these only can be replaced by regular attack. They do really good damage for that as well. So these are literally built around there. The sucky thing is they came out with cost 35 and cost 34 armor. So Azure armor is gonna get pushed back soon if you're not aware, and if you're thinking Azure armor is still God. For all those people who are thinking that, because I know I've seen a YouTuber called Kaios, I think a week ago or two, he was spawning for the Azure stuff. It's going to become useless soon or later, because they're going to come out with reflection. Eventually, they're going to come out with a reflection that's 36 or 35 or 34, and it doesn't matter, because 34 cost armor from these gem spawns have better stats than the Azure armor. So Azure armor is at the point where it's just becoming extra cost for you. It's going to become access cost that you could use on something else, and I would instead recommend the Olympic Zodiac. Until then, I wouldn't really worry about the Azure armor, because it's outdated. It's becoming outdated. It's not outdated yet, but it's definitely getting cornered. It's definitely getting surrounded. It's like sharks in the water surrounding this one person. The Azure armor is soon to become useless, or less useless. And I'm not going to say completely useless, but less useless. Alright, so now that we covered that, 50 to 200 medals per spawn, which they always should do. And they have 700 in the jackpot if you don't get the summoning scroll feature gear. They have 400 and 200 within the chest, so that's 600 total non-jackpot and 700 in jackpot. Really cool that they offer a lot of medals and they only have 6 chests, so that's not bad. And on top of all that, they offer a wide variety of selections that you could choose from in here. And oh, here's the monster I was talking about too. This is the one that's anti-Kairat. And this is the one that's going to be anti this one. And the water one. So, kind of funny. You could choose between her, I guess, him, Patty Marie, Juliet, Alexander. Pretty good monsters. All good monsters. Juliet's probably going to be the least useless one. I mean, the least useful one, so I won't worry about Juliet. If you want Juliet, there's literally, you can choose between Juliet and Horus, because they almost are the exact same thing. And if you already know Horus is good, but not as good as he used to be, then Juliet's pretty much the same thing. Anyways, they also have him for some reason here. Interesting. And then they have the armor right here if you don't get it. And then they have some other stuff right here. Different selections. If you can though, I would definitely go for the bow, because whenever this procs for one attack, it reduces the defense and magic defense of the target by half. And this relic right here is pretty good. Whenever it, well, I'm not even gonna say, because I don't think it's actually needed to proc. Yeah, there's a period at the end, so whenever it heals, it gives like a continuous heal that heals targets for 5% of their maximum HP every 5 seconds. So if you were to use like a greater heal, or I can't think of the whole area heal move, I think it's like divinity or something like that. It gives like a 5% heal for 5 seconds. I mean, for a total of 10 seconds, but it does it for every 5 seconds. So it's kind of cool. It gives a small little continuous heal even after you heal. This is damage reflection reduction. So if you're having a problem with reflection damage in guild battles or Coliseum perhaps, this armor right here will do it for you. And then this stuff is going to be 33 cost and 34 cost, mainly for gear score. The abilities are good, but they're mainly going to be for gear score right here. And then this is going to be recommended for rooks. These two are going to be recommended for berserkers. And then if you really don't want to choose between classes like not armor, but gear for classes, I recommend going for the red dragon stuff. The red dragon stuff is damage down. It's 32 cost, but has damage down. One of the best defensive skills not possible, but in the game. So there's that. And then these right here, I like this a lot as a cosmetic. I would do this, but I don't have any gems. Just for the cosmetic. No, I wouldn't do this for the cosmetic. I'm pretty sure I could get it at a way cheaper discount. And I'm pretty sure it might hit the cosmetic shop eventually, so I'm not worried about it. With that being said, not mumbling to myself anymore, this is good starter gear right here. So if you can get this, and it's your starter. Actually, I wouldn't recommend getting it because it's literally as low as everything else in here. So never mind that. But still, I'm gonna still talk about it. It's good starter gear. It has reflection. Reflection being one of the best abilities in the game. You want to go for XL because XL is the highest. It reduces physical and magical damage taken, and reflects the reduced damage back at the attacker. So it does both physical and magical damage in one. It's not really either physical or magical damage. Same for this one. Same for the damage down. It's both in one. It's not just physical or magical damage down. So with that being said, I find this a pretty good spawn, but this is another treasure battle spawn. Well, not another treasure battle spawn. You can't really get much from the gem spawn. They have no rates up, and they added a crap ton of new things, so it's going to be hard to get that stuff or an SSR in the first place. But they do offer a good amount of medals. Jackpot, it's going to be it's going to be uncommon to get the feature gear in the summoning scroll. But they do offer very good feature gear right here for the time being, and then they do offer a lot of medals and good stuff in the medals. So this is a good spawn, but this is another medal spawn. With that being said, I hope this helped out, and I'll see you in the next video. This is the AzureWrath, and I'm out. Peace.